Unbeknownst to the population, our school is home to a ravaging disease, the mental health problem of depression. We are going to dive into this special edition story head first.
So in the state of Minnesota, between ages 12 to 17, approximately 8% of adolescents will have a major depressive episode, and that's versus in the US about 9.9%.
While we couldn't interview a student, we were able to interview two staff members. They agree this needs to stop.
Last school year I ended up losing my brother to mental illness and depression, and it was a very difficult thing for our family to go through. My brother made things difficult sometimes for himself, so he wasn't always able to help himself out, and it seemed like he just wore on himself, and so last September he ended up not making it, and then 10 months later, one of my best friends, his brother went through a similar situation. And so within 10 months, one of my best friends and me, go through each other's brothers passing, and it was just a huge awakening to me that this has to stop. This really does have to stop, and this mental illness needs to be made aware, and people need to know that it's okay to talk about it. It's okay to feel sad. It's okay. I mean, everyone has feelings, but if you're sad or you're frustrated and you don't express those and you keep those inside, it can eat at you.
I think that's part of our culture, and unfortunately, in the United States, our culture has really shifted towards a lot of expecting perfection, and I'm glad to see that there has been efforts in the media and social media to try to change this so that people are more willing to talk about it.
Next, we talked to Miss Algard. She works at the 6th grade center and will share how her depression has impacted her life. She struggled with the illness when it came undiagnosed her senior year of high school. In college, Miss Algard had the problem of anxiety-based depression. She worried to the point of shutting down.
Senior year of college, all of a sudden things were starting to snowball, and I wasn't a person who withdrew. I wasn't a person who started to do self-hurting things. I was a person who's in my head I started to just think about, this could be done. I wouldn't have to worry about it. And I didn't talk to anybody about it. And I was still seeing a counselor, but I was hiding that from my counselor. That I was thinking of, I wouldn't have to do all this. I wouldn't have to worry. Nobody would miss me. Things like that. I wasn't showing suicide or suicidal thoughts or actions. So I had all those up, and I'm not a person who drinks alcohol. Well, I went and bought alcohol, which my roommates just didn't even realize it because I had it hidden. And so one night, both of them were gone, and I said, okay, this is the night. So it was quick. I didn't write a note. I was actually going to do it in the bathtub so my roommates wouldn't have to clean up my mess. So I had started drinking, and I was going to drink some and then take some and then drink, and my roommate came home.
Once interrupted, Miss Algard confessed and ended her suicidal event. She was then sent to a place called a safe house where she was watched. She got better, but never fully recovered. The National Institute of Mental Health defines depression as when your sadness interferes with daily life and causes pain for both you and those who care about you. Sometimes you need to cry to feel better.
I can tell you, I didn't learn to cry until my mid-20s. It's hard to do. It's hard to let go. A lot of people probably water up, but they hold it in. They don't let it go. You cry. I also had a friend take his life when I was 18 or 19 in community college, and it was the first time I cried in probably 10 years since I was a little kid. And you feel so much better after you cry. It is a euphoric state of joy. Okay? I mean, we need to have feelings, and the feelings that we have, we need to express.
The person who's depressed feels like there's something wrong with them, like it's something to be shamed about, and it shouldn't be that way, because if you think about it, all of us get depressed at one point, whether we lose a loved one or something happens in the family or anything like that, or somebody's sick. We all get depressed. It's just a matter of, are we able to be resilient and bounce back from those things.
Major depression interferes with working, sleeping, studying, eating, and enjoying life. It occurs once, but commonly it can occur up to 7 times.
It hides. It can hide, and you may not even know it. As you were saying, people keep it hush-hush. And so I would think more also trying to identify it when people don't talk about it is important. So if you notice someone's not taking care of themselves, if you notice they're not bathing regularly, if you notice they stop playing a sport that they loved, if you notice that they stop playing an instrument that they loved, that is a big sign of if they're not taking care of themselves, that's a problem.
Things that you might notice different with teens are, instead of coming across as being really sad and down, they may present more as being very irritable or angry.
The most important thing is that it is a mental illness. People get better, and people get over illnesses. Depression is just a sickness of the mind.
And a great phrase that I was given, if they want to be by themselves, just promise me I'll see you tomorrow.
I just want people to know that there is a way out.
If you are suffering from depression and would like to talk to someone, the guidance counselors are available during school hours and would love to talk with you. Please call the number on the screen if you would like a 24-hour helpline. This is Zach Clark and Anthony Kath for Noise News, signing off.